Welcome, ladies, to Bible Study Roundtable. We are in chapter 30 of Proverbs. We're so excited that you guys are here with us today. I have with me a group of ladies who you guys may recognize. I'll introduce them in just a second. But we decided to do this roundtable because we couldn't be together for the last 2 weeks of study. And so we wanted to make something really special for you guys and to encourage you to continue to do your study the last 2 weeks by yourself, but also while we can kind of be together while we all process chapters 30 and 31. So I'm excited that you guys are here. If you guys would like to, go ahead and drop in the comments where you're watching from and also one word to describe your week. I'll give you a few seconds to do that and then we will get started with introductions. All right, so we'll start over here. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Absolutely. My name is Nina Renner, and I have been a part of Women's Bible Studies for probably about almost 10 years now. So it's been a while. I've been a leader, I've been just a group member, kind of been involved in various capacities over the years.
My name is Jen Scorzell, kind of the same as Nina, been part of Women's Bible Study for lots of years. So I'm excited to be here with you this morning.
Hi, I'm Deborah Bird. And I'm a newbie. This is going to be my first time leading in a small women's group, and I'm looking forward to it.
My name's Robin Rao. I've been involved with Women's Bible Studies here at Grace for about 10 or 11 years, kind of lost count. So I'm happy to be here and share with us Proverbs, and I thank Courtney for inviting me.
All right, thank you ladies so much for introducing yourselves. We're going to be in Proverbs 30 today, and Proverbs 30 is a little crazy. At least that's how I felt when I read it. When they opened up Proverbs 30, he starts with some very intense language here. It starts off as, I am only a brute, not a man. I do not have human understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I attained the knowledge of the Holy One. So it starts off pretty strong, and as we keep reading, it gets a little bit stronger. Was there anything that stood out to you ladies as you read Proverbs 30 in all of its intensity?
I think even like you just said, those first verses, I am weary, God. I think when I look back on my life, I don't tend to go to him first when I'm weary, but also a little, just like it's saying here, there's a lot of the word I, and it's again, me trying to like rely on my own strength instead of what the Lord really is calling us to in those seasons of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think for me, I think a lot of times I tend to want to rely on myself because I'm the oldest of 4 children, and my dad was a pastor, so it's like I was in leadership, so I feel like, God, I got this. Like I have been brought up in church all of my life, so I think I know what to do because I know the Bible.
You can take a break today,
right,
God.
Yeah, and I got this, and then I realized that I don't, and I think that that's something that as women, I think we have been called to be in the superwoman all the time, right? But really, we're not superwomen. We have to really rely on God.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm impressed with his humility just starting out. My NLT says, I am a stupid. I'm too stupid to be human.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know how many times I try to accomplish something around my house or I'm doing something and I call myself stupid. And then I scold myself. I don't think God wants me to call myself stupid, but let's face it. I mean, compared to him, we know nothing. And so I love it that he's like, I don't have any common sense, I'm stupid. So he's kind of desperate here in this first
Which
just laying it out.
It's interesting because he's obviously about to lay out a bunch of wisdom to his audience. I'm not going to try to attempt their names. So he obviously has wisdom to share, and obviously the Lord put his words in the book of Proverbs. So it's a weird beginning for him to say like, I'm stupid, almost like I'm stupid, don't listen to me, but at the same time I've learned so much, so listen to me. That just made me kind of take some pause, and I think the humility there too, like just to admit like I know nothing. Like that's the kind of person I'm drawn to. Like that's who I want to hear from. Is like someone who admits like I don't know a lot, but here's what I've learned in my life. Like those are the people that we want to like gleaned wisdom from. So that just really stood out to me. Like, okay, now I'm interested to hear what he has to say,
Yeah.
because that's a very strong introduction to start with.
Because I think too, he says, I've not mastered human wisdom, even human wisdom, nor do I know the Holy One. So it's like he's stuck in this, I don't even know how to be a wise human, let alone know God's wisdom for my life. But he sure does bring it.
Yeah, he does.
Later.
Yeah. I think that's really telling though, is that he starts off in this place like you all shared of like very humble, almost degrading himself kind of by calling himself stupid. But then you see from that a flow of like all of this wisdom. And so what does that tell us about pride in our lives and humility in our lives? So my question is, right now, what does pride look like in your life? Not in theory, but literally in everyday life, where your ability to get wisdom is being blocked because of your pride. What does that look like for you ladies?
I think for me, I didn't realize until one day I was in prayer and I was complaining because things weren't going my way, and the Holy Spirit was just like, ever so gently, I sensed, you're being prideful because you are putting your needs, your abilities before what I want you to do. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not a prideful person. I try to stay humble, I give to people, I'm always generous. I said, I don't understand, God, how can I can be prideful, but when you put your needs before what God desires you to do, you don't realize what's behind that desire that God is giving you, how many people you can help, because you're putting your own needs. And so that was really like, wow. Again, okay, God, that's a nice reminder again of me not being so prideful.
Yeah.
Kind of along with that, when I evaluate my prayers, and if you go, write them down and go back and look at them, and you see all of where pride really lies. You know what I mean? It's literally the root of everything. It's when I look back at all of the ways that I make it about myself. I make it about my feelings, my, whatever I'm going through in that moment. Pride is at the root of all of it. Satan's good at his job. He knows how easy it is for us to quickly go inward versus outward, so.
And I think for all of us, everything we do, I can be prideful in almost anything. It's because you're all of these people around us, and we're trying to impress, who am I going to impress when I go here today? Or, I have to look just right before I, go into the room. Or I can be prideful over my grandchildren. When people are saying, your kids are, your grandkids are so beautiful, and then I'm like, not that God doesn't want us to be joyful in our children, but if that's what, I'm going to take my kids here today so everybody can see how cool they are. It's so, it can be the way you look, it can be who's in your life, your home, your car, all of those things.
And even on the flip side of that, not the good things of our children, but the bad decisions that our children make. And how we make that about ourselves instead of about what's really going on in our hearts.
So good. And people can make you prideful because they're like, oh my God, you're so wonderful. You're so this, you're so that. And you're just like,
Please, tell me more. Tell me more.
Maybe you're leaning in, right?
Speaking of pride, there's a part in here where I'm gonna butcher his name. How do you say it? Does anyone know? Agar. Okay.
I looked it up.
Okay. There we go. Okay.
What did they say?
Agar. He starts to. We talked about pride, so then he starts to show a lot of his humility and how he lives his life. And in verse 9, I caught my attention. He says, I'm so sorry, it starts in verse 8. He says, keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise, I may have too much and disown you and say, who is the Lord? Or I may become too poor and steal, so dishonor the name of the Lord. And so he makes this appeal of like, God, I want to honor you. I want to be close to you. And so don't give me too much, but don't give me too little either, that I would dishonor you. And that is, I don't know, it just rings so true for his humility. And also in my life, I think about, where am I asking God to do that for me? Where am I saying, God, don't allow these things to come too close to my heart, or don't allow us to have too much or too little so that I can continue to rely on you? And like in practicality, where are we allowing social media too much, or where are we allowing TV too much, or I don't know, thinking about ourselves too much and not serving enough? You know, like where are we asking ourselves in our hearts, like that balance of, God, we want to honor you the best we can with our lives. And so what does that look like for you guys in your daily life and in your walk?
Because I don't think the first thing that ever comes into anyone's mind is, don't give you more things than. I've never even thought about asking for something like that. I mean, that's so wise, because he knows what the end result is when you have too much. He already knows that.
But on the flip, like when you think about it, again, kind of going back to our prayer life, like when we're desperate, we are on our knees and we are praying every minute of every day. But when we're on those mountaintops, we are not thinking about God as often as we should be. So it does make sense that that's what he's saying in here, but yet we don't, that's not what our prayer life reflects, you know?
Well, I think having just enough puts you in the posture of, I have to trust God, right? Just like the birds. The birds aren't sitting there worrying about, oh, what's going to happen tomorrow? It's like Matt 6:33. That's my favorite scripture. And I have to remember that, because I want to worry about future things. But just having just enough for that, for moment by moment from God is important, you know?
I like how he said, give me only my daily bread. So it's a thought. One time I had a counselor tell me that God has given you enough bread for the day. And when you feel stressed or when you feel anxious or striving, it's because you're trying to search for bread that wasn't given to you today. You're trying to live outside of the means of what God has given you for today. And I think a lot of that has to do as women with our desire for control over our lives, and that tension that we live in of like wanting it right now and wanting things to be a certain way, and having this picture in our mind of how the day is going to go, and then not really seeking the Lord for our daily bread. And so I love that idea.
That's so good.
Where do you personally feel that tension between wanting to control and trusting God right now in your life? Is there a situation that you guys are working through or have worked through in the past of control versus trusting God?
I retired in December 2024, and it was a battle, right? It was a battle for me. I retired 2024 in December, and it was a battle for me. It took me 6 months to really accept, okay, I need to retire because this job is getting overwhelming. And I'm like thinking, but God, the money is so great. I just don't want to retire, right? But I had to realize that I need to rely on God. Like, you know, and then as soon as I quit, you know, I got this awesome deal to work for myself, which allowed me to be like, okay, I can rely on God, but I still have to trust him, you know? And it was a struggle for me because I want everything a certain way. I want to know from A, B, C, D, right? Not A and then wait and wait and wait for B, right? So that was really challenging for me.
I think the season of life I'm in with just kids going every which direction and all of that, I find I get myself all mixed up when I've added things to my schedule that never should have been added to my schedule in the first place. And I say, oh, I don't have time. No. You have plenty of time. We all have the same amount of time in one day. And so I think that's where I find I get myself all just anxious and overwhelmed because of what I'm putting into my schedule. And it's just like, how do we really discern what should be our yes and what needs to be no or not now?
Yeah, have you figured out that yet?
Oh, no. I will tell you, one of my newest secrets that I started a year ago was I get up at the same time every day. And it is when it's still dark outside, and it is not when I want to be waking up. But when I don't do that, how much my day is off the rest of the time. Oh, I deserve to sleep in today. Oh, I'll just wait till that kid wakes me up. And no, I have a lot more control on how the morning goes when I decide what time I wake up.
This question almost brings me back to when we did the Forgotten God study. And the one thing that he constantly, and I feel like even in our discussion that kept coming up during that, was what are we doing the first thing before we put our feet on the floor? Are we asking God, what is it that you want me to do today? Who is it that you want me to meet today? What are the things that I should put in what order today to make sure that I'm honoring you with my time and with my thoughts? Because the day does just get away from you, you know? But yeah.
That's a scary prayer to pray though in the morning. Like we don't want to pray that because I like, at least in my own experience, when I have prayed prayers like that, like, okay, God, like this is your time, not mine. Like, who do you want me to minister to today? Or like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's never something I want to do. It's never easy. Like, he's always going to ask you to be selfless and to give of yourself and to give of your time and talk to that person or reach out. And it's things that we want to go, that's exhausting and I don't want to do that. But like, so we have to be prepared to listen because I think I can tend to pray that prayer before I get out of bed or during my quiet time in the morning. But then I close my ears to it and I'm like, it's, later. He just wants me to be busy with my kids today. Like, which of course, like taking care of my kids is my first and foremost, like duty. Like that's, and it's a great thing, but I can easily justify like, well, I'm just too busy because I have my 2 kids and I'm not feeling well or whatever. But you know, it's those times that I am praying and asking the Lord to show me. Like, it's usually when he's like, okay, I will ask you to do something out of your comfort zone or help, like ask you to work on something that you haven't wanted to address or give up something. Like, hey, put your phone down on the counter and don't touch it for the rest of the day. It's like, I think that was something else. That wasn't the Lord.
That was just a random thought.
That was,
I think what's really interesting about what you said, Nina, is that we do have to be prepared to listen. And when God does speak that, we have to have a posture of not just humility like Agar has here, but we have to have a posture of knowing that God has put forth for us in our own lives works that we are to do. And so we have to realize that it's a good thing. Whatever he's asking us to do that day, whether it's out of our comfort zone or in our comfort zone, it's going to be a good thing. And I often find when I listen to that voice and I do the thing, I feel so fulfilled. Like I did what I was supposed to do today. And that brings life. When we think, oh, this is exhausting, like it actually brings life when we do that.
And it makes you want to be obedient more.
Right.
You're like, oh, I enjoy this. Like there is, God gets glory, but we also get benefit from that. And it should create this cycle of like, yes, Lord, I want to keep listening to you because I see the fruit of that. And my spirit is filled by that.
And even like along with that, for instance, Jay and study. I mean, we don't want to quench the spirit. So don't ask for an answer and then continue to be disobedient, you know? And so.
Yeah, but sometimes he gives you the answer without you questioning.
Like, I didn't even ask for that.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
Just tell someone else.
Tell someone else.
Right, ladies, this has been such a good conversation. It's coming to a close, so let me ask a few more questions and then we will close out. What would it look like actually for you to walk out humility in your life this week?
For me, it's probably in my home. You know, I think I work outside of the home and I go home and my home gets the worst side of me because I'm tired and all the things, all the excuses. And so even where pride comes into play with our kids and that type of thing. And I think for me to really humble myself at home and look for ways to serve my children, to serve my husband, to really, treat them the way I treat so many other people. You know what I mean?
100%. Thank you for that vulnerability. And I would probably say the same thing. When I get in my car, I know I'm tired. And as I'm driving home, I'm asking him, how can I go into, first of all, give me strength to go into my home after, you know, I get home with a good attitude, with like, what is the wisest way to use my time with my kids? Because it's so easy for me to get home and just be on my phone. It's so easy. And
I think for me, I struggle with that whole pride thing. I do some work with women in recovery, and I'm there every Thursday with them. And I've become so comfortable. Sometimes I feel like I can get prideful because I'll start like thinking, what am I going to share with them today? It's a wonderful platform to share Jesus with these women who maybe have never heard about Jesus and they've been through some stuff. And I can take home some pride in that. Like, oh, I gave him some good stuff today to think about. Like, you know, like I'm this fire and brimstone preacher going in there and telling them the good news and all of that. So I do struggle with that. And I go, why did I say that? Or because I get full of myself sometimes. And instead of listening and just sitting back and letting them respond, I'm just shoving it in, you know.
And it's like in those moments, how are we inviting the Spirit to really come and speak through us and bite my tongue when I need to bite my tongue?
Because we know it isn't. It's so much about the words. It's what I bring of myself and what the Lord can work through me to show these women, you know, what that's all about. And so it's very easy to get caught up in yourself and what you're doing and those good works and those good things you're doing. We just always have to be mindful of that. And so I'm always saying, less of me, more of you, less of me, just tone it down, humble me where you have to. And he does humble me. And you go, oh, okay, lesson learned there, thank you, Lord.
In those moments, Robin, where do you feel like his wisdom speaks more freely through you when you do come with no agenda and you're relying more on the Spirit?
Absolutely. Because first of all, I feel the weight and the guilt of my pride before I even say it. So when I say it, and then I go home and I go, oh, why did I have to say that? That was more about me than it was about him. So yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, I'm almost similar to with you. I work with women that own their businesses, but they're overwhelmed and having to point them back to Jesus. So it's a similar situation because I tend to like talk to them about Jesus and where's Jesus in this moment and things like that. And they're like, oh my God, you're so amazing, you're so this. And I'm like, oh, you know. but then I have to always, because when I start having that thought, I immediately say, you know what, that was inspired by God.
Yes.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, we all are going through this. There's times where I'm overwhelmed. And I feel like I shouldn't be teaching you anything because I'm overwhelmed, right? So it's just being able to really listen to the voice of God and understand how to be led by him. Because he's in every single moment.
So good. Well, friends, as we wrap up Proverbs 30, what we're seeing is not a picture of having it all together, but it's a heart that knows that we need God. And in that humility, God's wisdom flows through that. And so wherever you are in your walk with Christ, I just want to encourage you that you don't have to have all the answers, but it's a heart of humility that God works through. And so having a humble heart and seeking God in that is where he's most honored. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will be back next week with Proverbs 31 with another group of ladies. And so we're excited to see you guys back there next week. Have a good day.